Good morning, dear children. Come back to online classes. Today, in civics, chapter working of institution, in continuation, we are going to see the topic Parliament. Parliament, the main functions performed by the Parliament is to select the national government, to control, guide, and inform the government, and lawmaking. Lawmaking is a significant function of the Parliament. In the example of the office memorandum, do you remember the role of Parliament? Perhaps not, since this decision was not taken by Parliament. You might think that Parliament had no role in it, but let us go back to the story and see whether Parliament figures in it. Let us recall the points made earlier by completing the following sentences. The report of the Mandal Commission was discussed. So, actually, the government of India had appointed the second Backward Classes Commission in 1979. It was headed by B.P. Mandal, hence, it was popularly called the Mandal Commission. It was asked to determine the criteria to identify the socially and educationally backward classes in India and recommend steps to be taken for their advancement. The Commission gave its report in 1980 and made many recommendations. One of these was that 27% of government jobs be reserved for the socially and educationally backward classes. The report and recommendation were discussed in the Parliament. The President of India mentioned this in his the President of India in his address to the Parliament announced the intention of the government to implement the recommendation of the Mandal Commission. Then the next, the Prime Minister make aid. So we will fill this. The Prime Minister of India on 6th August 1919, the Union Cabinet took a formal decision to implement the recommendation. The next day, the Prime Minister V.P. Singh informed the Parliament about this decision through a statement in both of houses of Parliament. So, the decision was not directly taken in Parliament, but parliamentary discussions on the report influenced and shaped the decision of the government. They brought pressure on the government to act on the Mandal recommendation. If Parliament was not in favor of this decision, the government could not have gone ahead with it. Can you guess why? Recall what you read about recall what you read about Parliament in the earlier classes and try to imagine what Parliament could have done if it did not approve of the Cabinet's decision. Then the next, why do we need a Parliament? In all democracies, an assembly of elected representatives exercises supreme political authority on behalf of the people. In India, such a national assembly is of elected representatives is called parliament. At the state level, this is called legislature or legislative assembly. The name may vary in different countries, but such an assembly exists in every democracy. It exercises political authority on behalf of the people in many ways. Parliament is the final authority for making law in any country. The task of lawmaking or legislation is so crucial that these assemblies are called legislatures. Parliaments all over the world can make a new laws, change existing laws, or abolish existing laws and make new ones in their place. The parliament in our system has immense powers because it is the representative of the people. Elections to the parliament are held in a similar manner as they are for the state legislature. The Lok Sabha is usually elected once every 5 years. The country is divided into numerous constituencies. Each of these constituencies elect one person to the parliament. The candidates who contest elections usually belong to different political parties. Once elected, these candidates become a member of parliament or MPs. These MPs together make up the parliament. Once elections to the parliament has taken place, the parliament need to perform the following functions. That is to select the national government, to control, guide and inform the government, and lawmaking. Lawmaking is a significant function of the parliament. So that was the explanation of the two paragraphs. Now let us see. Parliament is the final authority for making laws in any country. So parliament can all over the world can make new laws, change existing laws or abolish existing laws and make new ones in their place. Parliament all over the world exercise some control over those who run the government. In some countries like India, this control is direct and full. Those who run the government can take decisions only so long as they enjoy support of the parliament. Parliament control all the money that governments have. In most countries, the public money can be spent only when Parliament sanctions it. Parliament is the highest forum of discussion and debate on public issues and national policy in any country. Parliament can seek information about any matter. So, Parliament is having two houses. Since Parliament plays a central role in modern democracies, most large countries divide the role and powers of Parliament in two parts. They are called chambers or houses. One house is usually directly elected by the people and exercises the real power on behalf of the people. The second house is usually elected indirectly and performs some special function. The most common work for the second house is to look after the interest of various states, regions or federal units. In our country, Parliament consists of two houses. The two houses are known as the Council of State, Rajya Sabha, and the House of the People, Lok Sabha. The President of India is a part of Parliament, although he is not a member of either house. That is why all laws made in the houses come into force only after they receive the assent of the President. Which of the two houses is more powerful, Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha? Children, it might appear that the Rajya Sabha is more powerful, for sometimes it is called the upper chamber and the Lok Sabha the lower chamber. But this does not mean the Rajya Sabha is more powerful than Lok Sabha. This is just an old style of speaking and not the language used in our constitution. Our constitution does give some special powers to the Rajya Sabha, but on most matter the Lok Sabha exercises supreme power. Let us see how it is. Any ordinary law needs to be passed by both the houses. But if there is a difference between the two houses, the final decision is taken in a joint session, in which members of both the houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, sit together. Because of the larger number of members, the view of the Lok Sabha is likely to prevail in such a meeting. Lok Sabha exercises more powers in money matters. Once the Lok Sabha passes the budget of the government or any other money related law, the Rajya Sabha cannot reject it. The Rajya Sabha can only delay it by 14 days or suggest changes in it. The Lok Sabha may or may not accept these changes. Most importantly, the Lok Sabha controls the Council of Ministers. Only a person who enjoys the support of the majority of the members in the Lok Sabha is appointed the Prime Minister. If the majority of the Lok Sabha members say that they have no confidence in the Council of Ministers, all ministers, including the Prime Minister, have to quit. The Rajya Sabha does not have these powers. So children, for today's class this much only. From next class we will start a revision for midterm examination. Thank you very much children.